I am the Dark Angel, Ware 57, and welcome back to Thomas Was Alone. Is this right about where we left off? Yep, 1.10. Where we've got a floating target. This would require coordination, balance, and timing.
John was sure the dots would be lost, but he was happy to guide them to triumph.
Do I switch again? There we go. Oh yes, Christopher, who can't really do much of anything. Not in the sense of that he can't do much of anything, but he's sour about what those around him can do. Come on, Christopher. Whoop, there we go. Oh, you can make these, can't you? Yes, easily. Okay. You go. Okay.
Maybe that's what the dots were for. They were there to extend John's reach, to make his performance even more impressive. John liked the thought. He decided to keep them.
John's kind of self-centered. Thomas is my favorite. He's just so happy, kind of just happy that everything's going on. The initial group possessed simple variations in size and strength. More complex configurations were inevitable as the era spread. These variations became increasingly extreme.
So, this was how Claire would die. She knew it would happen eventually.
No.
She was rubbish at jumping, and she moved slowly. She felt a little like her continued existence was breaking some kind of natural order.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
A dramatic death, she supposed. Wait, what? Claire couldn't shake the feeling that she was not, in fact, dead. It was at that moment that Claire realised she had superpowers.
Super Claire!
She'd need a cape. There was no getting around that. You couldn't be a superhero without a cape. Claire didn't want confusion. If you saw a cape, that made matters clear. You knew what you were dealing with. Claire was all about communication. And, you know, floating in water, which was her superpower.
Oh. So how did John get separated from Thomas and Christopher and end up with Claire? He's here with Claire. Where's Thomas and Christopher?
All right. Fear not, my skinny friends, for I am Claire, and I will save you. Claire
Seems legit.
came up with a superhero name as soon as possible. Claire was rubbish.
Claire's not a bad name. So there's Thomas and Chris. They just took a little while to catch up.
Claire arrived just in time, which was, of course, the perfect moment for superheroes to arrive.
Oh, let's see. Oh! I didn't notice that. Oh, Thomas! Thomas! No! Thomas! Alright, let's pay closer attention this time.
Claire
So that's
arrived just in time, which was, of course, the perfect moment for superheroes to arrive.
So, there we go. Thomas will push that. Go on top of Claire again. Woo! Oh wow, she can't jump. Except for in water. Okay.
As the water began to rise, Claire vowed to save this little rectangle in as many restarts as it took.
So, they're self-aware in a sense. Claire seems to be aware that she...
Claire wondered if Thomas would make a good sidekick.
Oh.
Was she more the lone avenger?
Claire seems to be aware that she's in a game, and the restarts affect her.
Which was, of course, the perfect moment for
Or the fact that restarts exist at all. Will this kill Thomas? Oh, I can't even... There we go. Up and up and up we go. Save that little rectangle.
Claire vowed to save this little rectangle in as many restarts as it took.
Way to go, Claire. Be the hero.
Claire wondered if Thomas would make a good sidekick. Or was she more the lone avenger type? She'd like that. The sole hero in a world of rectangles and conveniently placed pools of toxic water.
Convenient. So she's aware of their convenience. Okay. But what about Claire? Oh! So you can jump on these levels. But why couldn't you jump on the last one?
But staircases were a bit of a fixture here. Claire wondered why the world made it so difficult.
Ask Thomas. Seems to be the most observant out of the bunch. He might have the answers. Okay. Oh, let's not forget Chris. Alright. Whoop. Let's get everyone down here together. Okay. That means Claire needs to get over here so that we can get John across. Get back in there. There we are. Come.
Claire probably needed a nemesis, a villain who would show their true colours at the worst possible moment, hurting all she held dear. Chris was the most obvious choice. He seemed stroppy enough, and his jump was so pathetic that it conveniently avoided Claire's insecurities. Yes, Chris. Diabolical Chris. The fiendish Christopher.
I don't know how I'm doing this, but it's working. Ha! Alright, Christopher. Let's get John and Thomas back down here. We're all making assumptions about one another. Except Thomas. Thomas is happy to observe the world he's in, find his place.
Was he off somewhere? Plotting Claire's downfall? Claire was honest, and she had to be because she was a superhero. This was a troubling turn of events. Still, there were reasonably sized bodies of water to cross.
Thomas is happy to observe, but everyone else is keen on making judgments of one another. And Thomas just wants to understand, and Thomas would be alone in that sense. Is that the meaning of Thomas is alone? Am I thinking too much? It's a very relevant thought, though.
Moving platforms over water, eh? Claire's newly heightened senses told her that there were multiple paths across with various possible configurations of the little posse.
Yeah, Claire, you're kind of a pain to juggle everybody across, and with these moving platforms. It'll be a little bit more difficult. Ow. Oh! She can't jump with someone on top of her. Okay. But otherwise she can jump. That's why.
Really well. Claire hoped she could get them all across. John was fully aware he could do this alone. Thomas hoped he'd never have to.
Everyone else is making stories where Thomas is simply enjoying being Thomas and is more concerned with being with people.
Claire was alone, which was odd because she wasn't meant to be alone. She needed to be where there were rectangles to save. Being the only superhero in a given space kind of defeats the object. Spikes? It was new. Claire avoided them. She decided they were most likely her kryptonite. Not the rubbish red kryptonite either, the proper radioactive green stuff.
Okay. Same level, but with Thomas.
Deja vu. The world was repeating. And this time Thomas was here. Claire felt something had gone wrong. There was a disturbance in the Force. Something had altered the Matrix. The world was reacting to their progress. It was amassing its forces. It was plotting against them. Claire finally had a nemesis.
Oh, that's not Christopher. Fiendish Christopher. Oh, come on. Oh. Oh, come on. Really? There we go. No. There we don't go. Why did I do this the first time? It's exactly the same. There we go. There we go. Unfortunately, Thomas. There we go. He needs to die again. Ooh, that felt a little closer than I was comfortable with. I'm rubber, you're glue. I built protections in the system. When overlaps occurred, the world generated a splitter to remove the unwanted additionals. It's like a white blood cell. It investigates, it captures, and removes from play. I don't like the sound of that. I've become quite attached to Thomas and his friends.
Laura was pleased this one was behind a wall. Maybe he'd never know what she could do. Maybe they could just have a conversation. Hang out. As long as he didn't find out what she could do. Which would never happen so long as they stayed separate.
But they could never hang out if they stay separate. Besides, you don't want to be with Christopher. And here I am being judgmental. Oh!
Laura didn't have time to worry about the ominous pixel cloud. It had been following her for some time, and it had kept itself to itself until now. As the Square, who had shyly introduced himself as Chris, bounced atop Laura, she began to worry that he was just using her like all the others had. They'd all bounced too, and then they disappeared when her back was turned.
Yeah, I can see Chris doing that.
The cloud ever remains, looking a little bigger and a little less hungry with every disappearing friend. With every bounce, Laura found herself less and less irritated by Chris. She started to miss him when he wasn't there, on another platform or something.
She can't jump very high. Got that, and go, there we go.
She'd wonder what he was up to. Was he missing her? He wasn't saying very much.
Chris can jump pretty well in these levels. Oh dear.
Chris was in love. She was perfect. He had to tell her so.
Oh!
At some point, he would definitely tell her. Probably best to wait for a moment the large, ominous pixel cloud wasn't about there. Yeah, probably best to wait.
But how do I get her up there? Okay, so he can make that jump on her own. Oh, this is a pain. This sucks. Thinking about it, they could probably each do this separately and it might be a little bit easier, but I'm going to keep them together. Chris found someone to care about other than himself. And with this episode here, I'm going to end the episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Gotten a little bit further into the world of Thomas and his not so aloneness anymore. And we will continue to dive deeper in next time. I hope you're enjoying it. So until the next episode, bye-bye.